so they don't know what goes on in church every week. But even if he was, if there is a portion of his sermon that appeals to somebody, no one listens to every one gospel unless you're just a follower. So if you have the ability to listen, take what you need, and leave what you don't need, then that's fine. And you always differ in opinion. There are some very intelligent people that you will listen to their speech and not agree with half of what they say, but you still get a decent amount of information out of the rest of the speech. So if you decide to go and listen to anyone, whether it's an educator, a pastor, or anyone who's giving you information, that should be the choice of the person.
If anything, they should be thanking Pastor Wright, because he is showing people that there is still anger about issues that are going on within the black community that they had no idea about. And you know, it's very interesting that they went back over the, I think, 30 years that he's been pastor of the church, and found 6 messages out of how many he preached every Sunday.
Yeah. And
you're going to accuse somebody of that? But see, these same people, these same pundits or whatever that don't like Pastor Wright, when their daddies didn't like Martin Luther King Jr., you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are the same people that said the same thing about Dr. King and every other black leader that came before him when they had a problem with him, when he challenged the system and said that maybe there's something that's not right here and we need to go look at this and examine it honestly.
Yeah, and one of the things I think is missing out of a lot of these situations when someone says something that makes other people feel uncomfortable is that no one really examines the message. You know, they're so busy saying, well, that's divisive, or well, that doesn't, you know, that's not nice to say about other people. But look at the message and where it's coming from. Like we said, there are people who are from the civil rights era that went through a lot and are now trying to voice their opinion. And it actually is better. I think, you know, I've heard comedians joke about the fact that, well, we should be lucky that there are African people who have a place to go and, you know, explode, you know, or get their feeling out, because otherwise they would be, you know, it would be manifesting itself in other ways. And so we really need to understand that this information is information that will be helpful for everyone to know about, because it's cathartic for the person who's getting it out, and it's also informative for the people who don't know.
Right, and I think that, again, that people should be looking at this as a snapshot of a part of America. These are not, you know, crazy people. These are not thugs. This church is, I think it has like a 10,000 membership. Oprah belongs to it. Some of these are well-to-do African Americans and other people in there. So you're seeing some of the middle-class people that are saying to you that, hey, we got a problem with how America has treated us. And this pastor is speaking to that issue. And this is where we talk about these issues. The church has always been the backbone of the black community or whatever. Why wouldn't you think that they would go to the church and discuss these issues? Of course, I mean, the movement through the 60s, the civil rights movement, a lot of leaders came from the church. So to say that they're going to try to attack this particular church is ridiculous, because this is where a lot of our leadership has come from.
Yeah, and the last thing, I mean, is that I think it's human. We have to look at human nature. I know, even on a personal level, some of the things that are going on in our community, there's sometimes that, you know, you really feel like, yeah, let's work together and fix this. And there's other times you're just angry. I mean, when you hear about the more than 50% dropout rate, or the fact that the youth don't have their own textbooks in schools, or that they won't fix up the physical structures of these buildings. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, we need to motivate ourselves and talk to our council people. And other times you just feel a profound sense of anger over the fact that these situations even exist or have been allowed to get to this point. So there are times that people are going to voice their opinion and voice it a little stronger than other people might want to hear, but that's life.
But the good thing about it is those people who want to be reasonable, those people that want to learn and understand, took a lot from that speech and talked about the courage it took for Barack to even make that type of speech.